This is a video for Health One users explaining how to use the Billink functionality in Health One. So the first thing that we'll do is we need to register to Billink. To do that, we go to Tools, and we have this option Billink, and we have a Register to Billink here. So once we click on the Register to Billink, and just before we register, actually, just one thing I should mention, you need to be using the new billing module. Now, when I say the new billing module, it was the billing module that was brought out maybe 2012. So most of you will be on it, but if there is anybody out there who is still using the old billing module, you need to move to the new billing module. And if you contact our support desk on 014633098, they will be able to move you onto it. So that's the first thing to say. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go to Billink and we'll register to Billink. Now, I'm on a test system here, so I've already done my registration. But for anybody who's not registered, when you click this button here, what you'll see is you'll be taken into the registration screen. And the first thing you'll see in here is your Billink registration, your practice name, your contact name, contact number, and contact email address. And when you press OK, you'll be taken through the registration process. So there's just a couple of tabs. It's really quick. It's just really checkboxes and putting in your information. So, you know, you'll confirm that you're a partner and that you have your practice account number and your practice account bank account number and your IBAN, and then you'll start now. And you'll go through each of the different screens and you'll fill in your information here. So as I say, it's fairly quick. You'll just fill in all the fields, click next step, put in your bank account, your IBAN, agree to the terms and conditions, and finish and submit. And it's that simple. You'll be onboarded that quickly. So you'll get a message back saying you've onboarded successfully, and you can go to your dashboard from there. So that's the first thing. Once you're registered, then the first thing to do is go into your portal and set yourself up in the Billink portal. So again, if we go back into Tools, Billink, and you'll see underneath the registration option, you have another couple of menus here. So you have the portal here. And what the portal is, Billink has its own portal. It has a separate portal where you can view all your transactions, you can view all your payments, you can see payments that are due coming into you. There's a lot of information in the Billink portal outside of Health One. So if we click into that, and I'll just run through that with you. So you can see here my portal is opening up. And the first time I open up the portal, there'll be a bit of information that I just need to fill in here or just update for myself. So obviously it's pulling in all the details I've just added in. I have a practice image in already here. Your first time, if this is your first time to use Billink, you probably don't have an image in, and it will look like this. And you can either open your images up and have your practice logo or your image, and you can just drag and drop it there, or you could click on the browse and it'll browse you out to your desktop, and you have your pictures here, and you can just pick your image from in there. So I'll just use my medical image in there. So it's as simple as that, to put in my logo. And the reason for putting that in is when you send your text message, the patient will recognize that logo from invoices and receipts and stuff they've got in the past. So it's good to put a logo in there. So they feel more secure when they're making the payment. The other option you have here is your SMS settings. So this is a kind of sample text message that we have that's sending out. But if you want to add in any kind of merge fields, you'll pick them from here. So in this case, I have hi patient. Now, if I didn't have that in and I want to say, you know, just hi or hello or whatever way you want to send your text message, you'll fill it in here. In this case, I want to pull in the patient name when the message goes. It's going to say, please find below our secure payment link for, and I've added in the service field here there. And what that will be, it will say for bloods or for consultation or whatever the service was. So if you want them to know what they're paying for, you can pull the service field in there. Carried out by, and then that's the service provided by, so the healthcare professional, so the doctor's name, and on, and then the service date. So that would be whatever date the service was provided on. So there's a couple of other things in here, like the practice name and your contact number. You can add them anywhere on the text message. You can edit this to whatever way you want to say, whatever you want to say to the patient, and in whatever way you want to say it. And once you're happy enough and you have your text message, there's a sample of it there. That's what it will look like when it goes to the patient. All I will do is press save here, and that will save that message. So that's my portal set up, and I'm now ready to use the Billink system. So I'll close out of the portal, and I'm back into Health One, and I'll open up my patient file. So I'll open up David, and it's the exact same process as it was before for adding a bill. I'll begin my transaction. I'll go into my consultation. I'll go to my billing tab and I'll add my invoice. So all of this is all the same. It hasn't changed at all. So I click on my new invoice. The invoice editor pops up. I'll pull in today's date. It automatically put that in. The only thing is if you want to backdate any of your blinks that are going out, you can. You could send something for last week maybe. So you could backdate it there. And the patient, when you put that date in, the service date that we just looked at, it will look at that date there and it will say, you know, this is service for the 1st or for the 2nd or whatever date you want to backdate it to. You also have the responsible doctor here. So it's whoever the person is that's logged in, but you can change that there if you have other doctors in your practice and you want to bill it under them. Then my system is set up to automatically, whenever I add a transaction of a consultation, it's automatically pulling in a bill for a consultation and for €60. That's a configuration and tools and options. There's a video on that if you want to learn how to do that. But I've automatically put my bill in. So everything is ready. It's all the same as it was before. The only thing different now in here is on the payment screen. Beforehand, you would have paid the invoice by cash, by check, or by credit card. You now have this new icon in here that says pay the invoice using Billink. So when I click that there, what happens is a couple of different things happen. The first thing that you'll notice here is the use comment for Billink checkbox becomes active. So what that means is if I put a comment in here for the patient, it will automatically send that comment with the Billink transaction text message that's going out. If you don't want the comment to be included, just make sure you untick that box there. So if it's an internal comment, you just untick it, you can write it there, it won't go out to the patient. If it's a text for the patient or a comment for the patient, you're going to tick that on there. What you'll also see down here is it has automatically looked into the administrative chapter and to check and see is there a mobile number. And because the mobile number is in there, it has automatically taken it in. I can overwrite that if I need to, or I can add a new number if there's no number there. If I add a telephone number in there, it will save it back into the administrative chapter for me. So I'll have it saved for future texts. The payment screen then just pulls in today's date. The type is online and there's no amount paid yet, so it's 0. So it's all ready to go now. So all I have to do is press OK, and that's my Billink transaction sent. So once I hit this OK button here, the text message will now go to the patient. So the patient will receive the text message. They will make their payment. So we'll close out of the file here and we'll press OK. We'll press yes to that. And I'm just going to show you the Billink dashboard within the analysis within Health One. So it's in under your billing queries. You have a separate link here that says Billink online dashboard, online payment dashboard. If I went through billing queries, I'd see the same thing. I could see that link from in there, but I'm going to click on this. And this takes me in and you'll recognize this screen. This is your billing queries tab. The only difference is we have a new link in here called Billink Online Payments. And that link there under analysis takes me directly to this link here. So I could go in through billing queries if I wanted to and click on the Billink Online Payments and I'm taken to the same place. So it's just a shortcut really in here. So from here I can see my period, whatever period I have set. And these are all my Billink invoices that have been sent, and I can see the status of them here. I can see the patient, their date of birth, their mobile number, the description, the status, the amount, whether it was paid or not, and who the responsible doctor is. So once I synchronize here, it will synchronize between the Billink portal and Health One system. And you can see there was a couple of changes since I last synchronized. So the David Brennan invoice we just sent out is still showing as unpaid. In the meantime, Joshua paid his invoice and there was a refund issued to Ashley. So I can see my synchronized transaction results there. I'll just close that for the moment. I'll go back through that now in a second. I just want to really show you how the next step works. So if we go into that patient, so we just go to David Brennan there, that's the transaction we've just sent out. And if we right click on that here and we click check transaction status, we can see here the transaction status is unpaid. So the patient hasn't paid that yet. Now, what will happen on the patient's end is they will get a text message, and I'll just show you how that looks down here. So they get this text message. This is what the text message will look like, depending on the text message I set up in the portal earlier on. So again, as I said, you can fill in whatever you want on that text message, and that's what will go through to the patient. And then when they click the link, what they'll see here is they get this is how it appears to the patient when they click the link. So your logo will be here. It will pull in whatever details you've put in here. So what, it was for a telephone consultation, how much they were charged. And all the patient has to do here is put in their credit card number and their email address and agrees to terms and conditions. So once they put all that information in, agree, and they click pay, the payment goes back to the Billink portal, and the Billink portal then updates Health One. Just to mention as well that the card number is not saved anywhere, so it's very secure. The card number, we don't save the card number in Health One, and Billink don't save it either. So it's not stored anywhere. So once they put it in, it's a secure kind of service. So that's what it looks like. So I'll just show you. I'll pay the Billink invoice from here. I'll just press right click here, and I have a payment link option here. So this is the same link as what the patient gets. So I'm just going to pay it here just so I can show you the process. So we can see here, there's the charge, and I'm just going to put in a test card detail that I have. So the patient will just type in their number. And their email address. And they'll agree to the terms and conditions, and they'll press pay. And it's as simple as that. They get a message telling them the transaction has been completed and everything is fine. So if I go back to Health One now and I synchronize that, what we'll see here is David Brennan has now been paid. So that transaction has been paid there. If I go back in here, if I look at this up here, you can see the paid status. If I check the transaction status, it will tell me that the transaction has now been paid. So it was all updated as soon as I synchronized. If I right click here, I can also go into the Billink transaction from here. Now, if I click on that Billink transaction, that's taken me as the actual transaction for David Brennan. So you can highlight any patient on this list, and you can look at their individual transactions in more detail. So it brings you out to the Billink portal again, and it'll show you the transaction details for that. And we'll just do that now just to show you how that looks. So you can see here it's David Brennan. It's showing me his number, the practice charge, the doctor, the service date, the payment status is paid. And you can see down here the text message that was sent. It also gives you a log of the different kind of steps of the process. So you can see, the time the initial request was sent at. It was sent to the patient opened the payment link, and the patient paid. So you can see if they're opening the link and they're not paying it, you can see kind of a log of every time they click it from here. So that's a really useful log here. If for some reason you need to refund that, you can press the refund from here. So if forever, say in the meantime, the patient walked in and paid somebody else or something along those lines where you needed to refund the patient, you can click refund here. You can put in your reason and you'll press submit there, and that will refund the patient back. And we'll just do that there. So we'll just say refunded, and we'll submit that. And that shows the refund successfully sent. And what I'm seeing here then, once I've done the refund, is I'm seeing my full transactions database kind of table in here. So I have a from and to date, so I can filter on that if I need to. I can filter on different statuses, so I could say just show me anything that's been paid, and it'll just filter on all my transactions, whatever date range I have in here, on any paid transactions in there. I will just apply that filter, sorry. So you can see that in here. So there's all the information. Anything that has been paid, you can then download a receipt from here. So if for some reason you want to send out a receipt or you want to give them a receipt, you can click on the download there, and you'll see there you get a downloaded receipt, kind of with all the information on it. Some other things you can do, you can view the status again, the transaction status, the thing we were just in there now, you can see that from there. So that's pretty much a breakdown of everything that's happened from and to date within the Billink kind of portal. The other thing I can do, if I just close that, and I'll just go back in again. So I'm just going to open up another patient. So we close the portal for a moment. We'll go back into, let's go back into David Brennan. We'll just open back up David Brennan's file. And again, we'll begin our transaction and consultation, and we press OK, and we'll go into billing, and you can see there billing is green because the transaction was paid, and I can add my invoice again. So again, I create my invoice. I'll put this one in as if it's for blood, so I'm just changing that there. It's for bloods for 30 euros. I'm going to check pay the invoice using Billink. It has the telephone number in, the online in here, and I press OK. And it's just prompting me to say there's already an invoice for this patient. Do I want to create the invoice? And I just say yes there. So once I save that, if I file, and I'll just save that HCR and press yes there. In the meantime, what we noticed was happening was sometimes there was Billink transactions being sent out, And for some reason, the patient would walk into the surgery and pay somebody at the desk. So the way to do that is there's two ways to do it. You can click back into the invoice you've just sent. So if I click back into that, you can see here the invoice is already sent to Billink, and it's telling me it's read only because it's already sent. The patient hasn't paid it, but they want to pay me by cash now. So all I have to do is come down to my payment option down here, click pay the invoice by cash, and it'll pop up and it'll just ask me to confirm. It's saying the invoice has been sent to Billink. Do you want to pay the invoice now and settle the Billink payment request? The reason for that would be if you have reminders, text message reminders set up on yours, and the patient comes in and pays the invoice over the counter and you haven't done this part here, what will happen is every time the reminders are sent out, that patient will keep getting a reminder telling them to pay the Billink invoice. So what this will do is this will settle the bill. So it marks, rather than marking it as paid, it marks it as settled in the Billink portal, and it no longer sends out SMS reminders. So in this case, I'll press yes here. Actually, before I do that, I'll just show you as well from the front screen. We put this in the latest release, is that a lot of people don't click back into the invoice editor to pay it. They'll highlight it from here and they'll click the payment option from here. So if we click new payment, you'll get the same pop-up. Do you want to pay this invoice now and settle the Billink payment request? If I say yes, it gives me the option to what way did they settle it. So I'll just say cash here and I'll press OK, and the billing goes green. Now, if we open that up in the portal, so we just close the patient file, save the transaction, and we go back up to analysis and the Billink online payments dashboard. So if we go back into the dashboard within Health One, what we'll see in here when we synchronize this is it will update the dashboard in here for us. And it's telling me there, the update there is it was paid and the invoice was settled. So I can see that there, and I press close here. Now, if I was to look at that, gone, David Brennan, here it is. So if I right click on that and I go into the Billink transaction, it takes me out to the Billink dashboard again, and I can see out here that this payment has been settled. So it's showing me out here that it's settled. So no text message reminders are going to be sent to that patient because the payment status has now changed to settled there. So just to show you, so just so you understand that the Health One dashboard has its own dashboard, but Billink also has a detailed dashboard of each transaction. And usually when you right click, you can access that dashboard from there. So yeah, so that's the check transaction, the Billink dashboard, and the payment link, and then I can open the patient directly from here. To batch send a number of Billink requests at the same time, if you have a number of transactions, invoices already added to a patient file and you'd like to send them all through by Billink, to do that, to send them all in one go, if we just click on the little icon at the top, the little corner box there, or click and drag and select all the ones I want to send. And then if I use the right click option here, I have an option here, Billink payment request. When I click on that, it'll pop up and it'll say the patient's name. If their number is in, it will already pull it in. If not, I can just add the number there, and it's pulling in additional outstanding invoices from, and it puts in the date range here, and it's giving them a breakdown of each of the transactions that they're being charged for. And if I press send there, what it will do is it will send a bulk request out for invoices in one go. So it's a way to be able to send a number of invoices in one Billink transaction. And just to go through this dashboard briefly, you have your Billink online payments is where we are here. If I was to untick the period there and I was to click on my filter, I could say, show me everything that I've sent in the past week or the current week or the month. You can filter on your dates in here. You can say, just show me paid, unpaid, cancelled, refunded. You can filter by patient, by responsible doctor, and synchronize will just synchronize it there. If we click on tools and Billink again, you have some other options in here. So you have the register, which we did, the portal, which takes you out to the portal. You have transactions and you have payments. So if I click on transactions, so if I want to see all transactions that were sent around Billink, I can click on the transactions from here and I get a list of all my transactions there. So we were looking at this a couple of minutes ago from the transactions, from the billing transaction within the patient file. When we refunded the patient, we were taken back to this dashboard. So I can see that there. So like I said, you can filter on dates. So you could say, just show me everything for today, for example, and I'll just apply that filter and it will just show me today's ones. So I can see the settled, I can see the refunded, the paid, the status, the SMS status means it's green, means it went, and I can view the actual transaction from there. So if I want to see the details of it, I want to see, has the patient even opened the text message? I can see all that from there. So the Billink dashboard is really useful. It gives you a lot of information there. I could select all and I could batch send an SMS to them all. So I could select all and I could batch SMS resend if I needed to. So I could resend my text to everybody. And that's pretty much everything on the Billink dashboard. If I just close that again, the last thing to look at under Tools and Billink is Payments. Payments is what you're receiving in the surgery. So if we click on that here, you can see the date that the payment was made, the practice charges, and the net practice there. So I can see a breakdown of everything there. I can view it and give me a full detail of what I'm being paid for and what sort of charges I'm paying there. So I can get a full breakdown of everything I need from the Billink dashboard. And I'll just close that off. And that's everything on Billink. If you have any questions, you can feel free to email me on glenda.o'neill@clanwilliamhelp.com or contact our support desk on 01 463 3098. Thanks for watching.